Hello, hello. There we go. Chandel's here too. Okay. All right. Everybody's coming in. Hope you guys are all having a good Tuesday. Michael, it must be like is it the end of the day there today, or like what time is it?
Well, let's not even go there. I'm speaking with a Canadian accent. That's what counts.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey guys.
Hello, hello. Okay, so just let everybody come in and yeah, then we can jump on and get started and chat about a whole bunch of things. Um, yeah, we got a couple little things done with some changes made to the reward system, which I think are pretty good. And then I want to chat about that. I'll just give you guys a quick overview of what that looks like um in a few minutes here, and we'll just see if anybody else is going to jump on. We'll just make sure that we're going live in all the right places here, and I think we should be good. Yeah, so how is everybody's week going so far?
So far,
Yeah.
so good.
Right on. Right on, that's good. So one of the things I mean we made changes to over the last couple of days here was with the way that we track points for the reward system. So I wanted to talk about that. For a little while now, I thought it might be an issue with the reward system, and what was happening was basically we had points being stored, or basically the transactions and points being stored in high level, but then also um we had the points being stored and tracked for the reward system in our databases. And what's happening with that was occasionally, and it didn't happen very often, is that there would be something would, I don't know what would happen, but for some reason the numbers wouldn't line up. Now, whether somebody changed something in on the high level side or I don't really know, but I just thought that it was going to be. I think there was one instance of where it happened, maybe two, but um, where somebody got points and it didn't sync up on both sides. So what we decided to do was make it so that we're pulling all the numbers from the database so that everything is stored there instead of trying to maintain two copies of the records in two different spots and make sure those are synced up. We're pulling everything is already in the database anyways. So we're using it from the database, and then we'll display that inside of the rewards dashboard for everybody on their ends. So it just makes it a little more I guess it just makes it a little easier to keep all the records synced up. So, well, we'll still use the custom fields in the reward system for sending out emails, telling people how many points they have and stuff like that. For the most part, let me show you the rewards that we pulled. The amount of points that they have and everything like that will be pulled from the database, so it'll show on our side or in the funnels that way. I'll just share my screen really quick. We got Dan jumping on here, so we're gonna go here, share. Really quick, I won't go into a whole lot of things about it, but just basically made it so that it's gonna. I don't know if I'd say it's more. It's not. I don't think stable is the right word, but more. Just less opportunity for the wrong numbers to be popping up. So this will make sure that all the numbers that show up will be the same numbers that show up in the leaderboard. So inside here we have our rewards leaderboard, and we have points, And what was happening was sometimes these points, and if you go to view details, sometimes this wasn't exactly the same as what was showing up in high level. And, that could be for a number of reasons. There's like little glitches that happen with high level that we all know about. So maybe something didn't get updated on that side or something like that. And there's no way to really check to see or do any error checking on that side to see if that happened or not. So while all the points and everything go through our database, this is all pulled from the database. This shows you all the points and how they were everyone earned points, and then we also have the details over here of extra information that can be put into the system. So now what will happen was this will make sure that every number that's in here will be synced up exactly what will show on in the rewards database now here. So when you click on your rewards, this will pull from our database and it'll show the exact information, even if there's something different inside of high level. So it's all the same information, just stored in one spot now, rather than trying to maintain two databases with the same information. So essentially we're using custom fields as a database. So that's that. Yeah, so that's an update that we've done over the last couple of days, which I think is a big update, and it'll just make everything work a whole lot better from here on out. So even on the redeem rewards page, the points that are here will get pulled from the database as well. So that'll make sure that that's updated properly all the time, and we're good to go. All right, so that's my little update. Now, let me know about what questions you guys have. I know Sam had a question. Shan kind of gave me a heads up. She's like, Sam's gonna want to know about this. So maybe I'll just hear it from you and you can let me know what you're thinking or what you're trying to accomplish, and then we can all chat about it.
Okay, well, I'm going to try not to be long-winded, which is difficult for me.
You can try.
I don't know if you recall the big sell that I had.
Uh-huh.
Back in East. So this is that client, and she owns a cleaning business. They, we're down here on the border. So the majority of her staff does not speak English.
Okay.
And so there are some they're not tech savvy at all. Everything that she does is on paper. She has 70 employees and 350 homes she cleans a week.
Yeah.
They are not looking for, one of the selling points, and I think I talked about this last time, is that I'm trying to explain to people is that them managing their staff and us using this to be a really easy way for them to go from pen and paper to managing a staff rather than using a really robust software that she doesn't know how to use. I'm building things that are easy for her to use.
Okay.
And so when I talked to you about this last time, it was like, well, you can use the calendars to help her create a schedule. And that's what I'm trying to do, is break the calendars down into a schedule. And what I was just telling Jan is that I don't know what I'm doing. And while I've been doing a ton of research about how to build the calendars, I'm afraid to start, and I can't visualize it in my head. And so I was wondering if you just had any tips, because the reason why this matters to us in this conversation is because she wants to be able to reward her staff for clocking in and out on time and with the points, and be able to just give them points for not breaking things, basically.
So how when you say that she does it on paper now, what does that mean?
It means that how
does she do it on paper for 70 employees?
She has 5 different notebooks like this, and she just breaks it down. She has 14 teams of each of the 14 teams has 5 girls, and they each see 5 houses a day.
It's 14 teams of 5 girls.
Yeah.
And they have 5 houses a day.
Each team sees 5 houses a day.
Okay. So with that, do you need to have Is it the same team every time?
Yes.
Okay. And then do they have like for lack of a better word, like a team captain
Yes.
that manages their five people?
Yeah. So right now I just started building groups, and I think there may be a little bit of turnover, so I have all their names, but I just did it by colors.
Okay.
Green team, yellow team, blue team, and then I created the
Yeah.
groups with the team leader. But even now it's like, how does that even work for her? Because the whole idea is, one, that she can reward them with points for showing up on time, for getting out of the house on time, and for not breaking anything. And two, so she can do this from her phone. She wants to be able to take her first vacation.
Okay. She's going to have you set up groups of calendars. I've never played around with groups, to be honest with you. Something that I might have to look at. Um, so it wouldn't be too hard if you have 5 different calendars and then they have I know they have recurring events, right? So that it's like you're gonna go clean this house every day for the next whatever, however long, right? So I
I
guess
think it's the
where are you
house
getting
is going to change.
stuck
The
with it?
girls change. The girls are constantly changing, like
Yeah.
on the teams. So in my head, I was thinking that eventually the team captains would have their own calendar, and she might be able to offload some of this work to her
That's
captains.
kind of what I think is yeah, because so you got a number of things in there which are more than just calendars, right? So we have the calendar, but you want how are they going to know if they showed up on time, and how do they know if they've left the house on time? Like, and then how do we know that they didn't break anything?
The
So
team
like
captain.
what so that just all goes through um them. So I wonder if you have to have like a different form or something like that for checking to see if, I mean, that they have to check off at the end of every job.
Yeah.
Um, okay, that's interesting. So do they, so let's just say you have one, oh, Jake might have a lot of good ideas about this too. I know he's jumping in here. So let's just say that your first thing you have to do is you're just looking, are you looking at trying to do the scheduling first and get that kind of organized for her, because that would allow her to take the vacation, right? If she could organize her teams and do the calendars, that's going to allow her to take her vacation. Did they show up on time and awarding points and loyalty and stuff like that for those kind of thing? That's kind of like a step 2, is it?
So I wanted you to know the goal and why I felt comfortable showing up
Yeah.
here and asking you about calendars. And yes, she's leaving on March 18th or May 18th. So I have 3 weeks, essentially 4 weeks, to break it down into bite-sized chunks, because each little thing that we do, she's got to teach all these people how to do it, and I got to help her do that. So
Yep.
tomorrow is when I meet with her, and I just want to be able to show her something that she can play with that is digestible, and the
Okay.
end result being that on the 7th, or the 8th, a week before she leaves, that I'm able to say, now let's just play with it. Go out there and do it, or here's some points or some stuff like that. But
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's tough because he's like, not tough, but it's like you said, there's going to be um how are we going to reward points for each one of the 70 employees? But okay, let's just say we have a calendar. You're going to set that up. I would almost do one calendar per team, right? And rather having 70 calendars, I would probably set it up was you would have one calendar per team. And when they book appointments, because she's going to be manually booking the appointments for them still, right? So they're going to know where to go. It's not going to be like a round robin where somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to book an appointment with them or get my house cleaned, and then it just assigns a team to it.
Yeah, that's gonna come down the road where I schedule the people, I think.
So she's going to
Or
do that. So you'd probably still want to set it up as a round robin calendar for that. Even if down the line you're going to, even if right now she's just manually scheduling, that I think you can set up a round robin calendar. From what I've read and heard, it's kind of the better way to go, especially when
Okay.
dealing with larger groups like that. Or she just has 5 different calendars: team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, team 5. And then she just puts in the schedule for those 5 calendars. Then she has 5 calendars to manage rather than a bunch. But that might even be a way to go too, is just, and then just have their team manager, like the team leader, get that information out to whoever is going to be on that one. It's a good question. I want to read more about groups, exactly how those are set up too, because yeah, there's like collective booking. There's a bunch of different ways that we could do it. I think I don't know. I was just wondering, yeah, I know Jake just jumped on here and he might have some insight on how to best do it for groups of people.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
realtors.
from my understanding, the reason that you would do a group is because of the way it embeds onto the website. So rather than embedding one calendar onto the website, you can put the embed code for the group and it will display all of the calendars on it. As far as I'm aware, that's like the main benefit of groups, essentially.
Yeah, okay.
That's
That's not super important because we're not getting people to
yeah.
book
Yeah,
on,
the main
on
reason
there.
that you would use groups is just if you want it to, for example, I worked with a doctor and they had they wanted each doctor. So they had like a bunch of doctors, right? They had doctors that do plastic surgery, doctors that do Botox, whatever. And there was like let's say there was 2 Botox doctors, and two plastic surgery doctors. They just wanted it all displayed on one page, all of their calendars. So it displayed like all surgeries, and then if you they were round robin calendars, right? So if somebody went to book on the Botox one, it would round robin to one of the Botox doctors. If someone went to book on the plastic surgery one, it would round robin to the 2 of them. But now instead of having it kind of like instead of having to embed each calendar separately and like, it looking kind of weird, it makes it like a sleeker interface where it embeds, puts them next to each other and like makes it look nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just groups are really only important, I think. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure. Just to give your website a nicer interface with the calendars if you need to group a bunch of calendars onto the same page.
Yeah, there's so much you can do with calendars.
A confusing
I would
topic,
almost start out with them and just see and possibly see how it works, because you can always create individual calendars and then put that all into like a group, like team calendar kind of thing that would show everybody on there. Don't know if you need to do that for this client, again, because she'll probably be managing the bookings herself, because she does it all on paper right now, at least to get them all on there. And then she could see, like, for the foreseeable future, who's on there and who's not on there. And if a client jumps off, if they're not working with her anymore, then she could remove those recurring bookings from the calendar. So potentially set up like one calendar for each team, and then whoever has and then that could even sync to just like a Google Calendar or whatever. And then every time that she puts in the recurring, it'll just sync with those calendars.
Quick question: are people trying to book with a specific person? Like, is it like, oh, I'm only
No,
going?
they're not. It's a cleaning company, and it's a cleaning company, and she's trying to schedule her employees out to do residential cleaning jobs.
So is it by area then?
It's by
Like,
house.
okay, these 3 people work one area, these other 3 people work the other area. Is that how it's broken up?
It's just basically by house, because it's like residential, right? So they'd be cleaning the same house. They go to one.
Yeah.
There's 5 people who go to one house. There's teams of, I think you said 5 teams of 5 basically, and they go and they clean 5 houses a day. She likes the number 5, the lady. So so all you have to do is get that team leader anyways to be able to tell everybody what houses they're going to be cleaning that day, and the addresses. And I'm assuming they just travel together as a
Yes.
group. So they just need to know where they're going. So they show up, they go to those 5 houses, and those just need to be scheduled in there. So you really only need to have 5 different calendars for team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then which houses they're going to.
Yeah.
Yes.
This might work also, and I'm sorry, it's the situation. It's like when you're taking the ACT and they give you like the word problems, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this might be a solution. I don't know. I need to think about it more deeply. But rather than calendars necessarily, could be an event. You use a custom field for the event start date time, and then it's every you just do kind of like a wait and then a go to for that time, and then it. You know, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
I could see
Yeah.
how that would work too, but then you have to build a workflow for almost every job that comes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a pain. So this way you could at least have calendars with reminders of where they're headed for that day anyways. Or they could just look at their calendar and they could see which 5 houses they're cleaning. And the thing is, it shouldn't, they're cleaning the same houses over and over again. So it's not like it's a completely different house every day. Or I mean, every week. It's all the same. So it should be relatively like stable. Like it's not changing a lot. It's not like every week every Tuesday they're cleaning 5 different houses. It's like every Tuesday they're cleaning the same 5 houses.
Yeah.
Unless they do a bad job, and then people are going to leave. But
I mean, another potential option also is obviously I'm sure the goal is to make it work in a high level, but essentially having them sync their Gmail to their phone calendar and creating a recurring meeting inside of the calendar. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's not easy, but like that definitely would work. And then you could set the time, like, oh, remind me an hour before. Like you can set like remind me 10 minutes before, remind me an hour before, like directly in the calendar app. And then you could also turn on two-way sync inside of high level, so that does get added to the high level. So it does get added to the high level calendar, and then high level could send out the reminders to the client, and then the calendar app will remind the actual employee.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and you can do that either way too. So you can have the event get created inside of high level where she could jump in and manage those calendars, but then also have that two-way sync with their Google calendars as well, so that they would still get the reminders both ways too.
I'm building all their Google stuff too, so I can do all that for her.
Mm-hmm. It's almost going to be, with a lot of stuff like this, it's like set it up and kind of test it a little bit, to see how it will work. And then it might be she finds it confusing, or you know what I mean? So then it's going to be like, okay. And then not just being like, if she finds it confusing, then try to narrow it down to be like, what do you find confusing? Where are we stumbling here, and how can we make that a little bit better? Where's the friction? And hopefully you can get that information out of her rather than she just being something like all of it.
Yeah, the whole thing.
One more suggestion also, just another potential way to go, is at the end of the day, a lot of people use like outside softwares for their bookings because the industry has very specific the way bookings work, right? Like, for example, like a pest control person or whatever, they need to do route tracking, right? So they can't include it in the high level. So, I mean, you could always overall just be a consultant and advisor and like the head of marketing, where you say, hey, to do what you want to do for bookings, it makes the most sense to use this platform. And then we're going to integrate everything into high level so it all flows smoothly. You know what I mean? In the case that you really just can't figure out how to make it work with high level, I'm sure there's a software out there that's specifically.
Oh, there is for sure. And that's exactly what Chandel was kind of saying earlier, was maybe it's best to find that.
Square is so easy and you can integrate so well
What is
into
it that
high
you-
level. It's just called Square.
Oh, Square, yeah.
It's so like hairdressers use it. It's very
Yeah.
easy. And you can collect payment using Square. Everything can integrate really well with high level.
Okay.
You know, I don't know where the whole Spanish speaking thing comes into play because I know that you mentioned that. So, like, what does that add to this?
I don't know.
You know,
I'm not sure yet. I think that there's a way to make Go High Level in Spanish though.
yep, there
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
There
where my
is.
head was at.
Mm-hmm. For all the follow-up stuff. Right? Like Jason, you've had people take your loyalty and reward system and all of that and have it translated into Spanish, have you not?
Oh yeah, they've gone and translated it basically on their own and changed all the pages.
Yeah, I bet you Near has a copy of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Calendars, I would just truly honestly, I would get her set up with Square or something like that to just get that going. Then the next thing is who's putting all the information into these calendars? Is that on your plate?
No. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Right now I'm just saying I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
We've all
I
been
would
there.
another thing is just doing some research to see how other like cleaning company calendars work. And like doing some research and just saying, okay, well, how does this cleaning company, like I'm looking at one right now called ZenMaid, and
I looked into ZenMaid and it's expensive, but two, I think it's going to get really confusing right out of the gate because it offers every single thing that we're already doing. And then it's like,
Yeah.
well, why am I using this when you're asking me to use this that does everything and it's all really expensive. So ZenMaid for her would be $750 a month. And then
Oh,
it
But you
gets
need to
on
remember
top
though,
of what we're already
Sam,
doing.
but she's got a huge team to manage. So if we're looking at even you setting up a high level, like all the calendars and managing that for her inside of there, that should be, X amount of dollars a month, right?
oh,
I guess
getting
my
that set up.
problem is that I didn't say that up front. She's already spent
Mhm.
a ton of money with me and it
Yeah.
was like I said I could do this thing and now I've got to deliver on this thing.
All right,
And
how many cleaners do you have? And it's like, I have 20 cleaners or 75 cleaners. So
Yeah.
so here's what I would do is I'd break it up to keep it as simple as possible is just break it up into 5 different calendars. She has one calendar for each team, and then she can go in and schedule those teams through there. You don't even have to make it complicated. She can create recurring, just make sure that calendar is a recurring calendar, and you have the team lead or whoever is getting the notifications for every appointment, quote unquote, that is going through there, so that would just make it as like as simple as possible. Then she can go into team one's calendar, schedule out team one's calendar, go into team two's calendar, schedule a team two calendar, stuff like that. And then it doesn't matter which employees are in there. You don't have to set up like 70 users or anything like that. You just need to make sure that the head, the main person who is using that calendar or syncing with that calendar through Google or whatever is getting the notifications, so that when you have that team lead who's like, okay, here's the 5 houses we're going to, get on the bus or vehicle or whatever we're getting on, we're going over to that house, right? And then because then everybody doesn't need to know where they're going, but I mean there's probably ways that you can notify them, but then you just have to worry about the 5 people for now, right? And then the next thing is, so I would set up 5 calendars, get her scheduling those 5 calendars with recurring events, and then that's easy, and you can call it red, blue, yellow, green, different teams, that's fine. And you can even color code that in Google too, so that that in Google those are going to show up there. And she can have a massive list inside of Google and bring all of those calendars into one if she wants. whatever, but they can easily see it. And that's probably the easiest way without getting into, thinking about the future of like, how are we going to book into these different calendars, and how are we going to do this, and how are we going to do that? Just get our scheduling those calendars for now, and get that started.
Okay.
One question, and this may be like way out to lunch, I don't know, but would it be worthwhile to set up a different account completely for each team? Like a different high level account, like a sub account?
I don't
for
think you would
each
need to
team?
do that at all.
Okay. You can
No.
just create multiple calendars inside of there.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I think I agree. That makes sense. So step 1, make the 5 calendars. Step 2, create the appointment reminder sequence. Step 3, set the recurring calendar in your Google Calendar, and then two-way sync it, and you're good. That's it, right? I mean,
That's
And then and those just go to the team leads, and you're good.
yeah.
easy
I
peasy.
think that would work honestly. Also,
I
Cool.
really
So,
appreciate
Sam,
it, guys. Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody.
why don't
Yeah.
you start with that? And then if you get stuck, just send a message. Like
Okay.
if you get stuck along the way, send a message and
So
We'll
I'm gonna
tap
jump
the
over
calendar.
to
yeah.
I'm gonna jump. Mikhail just messaged and said he's got to jump off in about 15 minutes here. So
Okay. Thank
want
you,
to
guys. I appreciate it.
Mwah.
I think that'll work for you anyway. So let's go over to Mikhail, and how are you doing today?
Greetings, guys. Yes, thanks, Jason. All good, all good. As I mentioned on our call a couple of days ago,
Mhm.
this whole thing is completely new to me, and not completely, but your setup and the system of the specifically for restaurants, as we spoke on the phone, and so. Over the last couple of days, I've been speaking to a prospect who has who owns a Mexican
Okay, yes, Mexican
restaurant, which is franchise. And so my question is, if there's a standard way to set this thing up and then easier replicated throughout the franchise.
Yeah, so typically what I would do in that case is, because you'd be working with a franchise, is install the reward system into a sub account in your system. Like we'll get this one done for the Sport Pit barbecue, or Sport Bar, I think it's Sport Pit. We'll get that one set up today. And then you can install the reward system and promotion system into another sub account, completely brand it for the franchise. And then every time you create a sub account or one for that franchise, you can create your own snapshot from that and then duplicate that for every sub account. So you're not recreating any of the branding or anything like that. The only thing we don't have is being able to say, like, use the promotions manager across multiple locations. Right now, the promotion system is set up so that each location would have its own set of promotions, kind of thing. Now you can make them all the same, but when you're setting that up, you would just have to set it up for each one of those accounts. Now there might be a way in the future that we can make it so that you can have multiple locations use the same promotion system that way. And that I could see that being for like a franchise where it doesn't matter which location you go to, they'd have the same promotions running. But it also depends on how the structure of their franchise, because we've worked with franchises where for they have similar promotions, but then also they have their own promotions going on and they're different.
Right.
So the easiest thing to do is set up a sub account in your system. And this is what most people do, especially when they're working with different industries or like a specific industry and they're offering the same thing to that industry, is you create a snapshot, which is your master snapshot for that industry. And then you just, every time you create a sub account, even if you're doing SaaS or whatever, you can then just deploy that snapshot, which is a snapshot, is essentially just a copy of a sub account. So you can deploy that copy of that sub account to all new sub accounts that you create for that franchise. And then, like, as far as branding and everything goes, 90% of your work is done. right? With our system, then it's just fill out some custom values and have that set up, and then the account is set up.
Okay, yeah, that's clear. In terms of offers, of course, there will be some offers that work well, and after testing, they
Yeah.
can deploy to other locations. Some would want do their own.
Yeah, and what I found with franchises too is that occasionally they're like, well, let's test this out in 1 or 2 locations, see how that works, and then we can roll it out to the rest of the franchise, depending on how many locations they have.
Right. I also just overheard, Chandel, you mentioned that High Level integrates with Square really well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you can do it. So you have to do it through Zapier. Through that, or you have to use either Zapier or Make or something like that. One of those kind of platforms. In order to do it, you might be able to. I haven't tried to do it through like custom webhooks or anything like that through workflows, but I know Zapier, every time a customer comes in, they check in, especially if you have repeat customers where you have their information kind of thing. And if they're checking out with Square, using that as a payment processor, we've set it up often where every time somebody pays, they complete a job or whatever it is using Square, they pay, their information gets sent over to High Level. And we've used that with hair salons and like to then do automated review requests to send out.
Right. Yeah, that was actually my second question. How can that be connected?
Yeah, Brian just says use he said unlimited Zaps, but I think it's Zaps Unlimited. And we use that as well. We use Zaps Unlimited. It's basically, so Zaps Unlimited is really interesting because they use they basically have a Zapier enterprise account, I think is what they have, and then they resell their Zaps, their like tasks to you. So for $30 a month, which is Zapier's lowest level account, which gives you 750 tasks, you get 100,000 tasks through Zap Unlimited. And I don't know what kind of relationship they have with them, but we've been using it for 6 months, and I've heard a lot of people using it, and then you don't have any restriction. And basically, when you log into your Zapier account, you then have you just have basically a sub account with those guys. I think it's called ZapRite or something like that. And then you can do like up to 100,000 tasks in there, which is way more affordable than 750.
Yeah, wow, that is a big difference. So sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And related to Zapier, you also have your own Zaps developed and give access to us, your clients, correct?
I don't have Zaps. We don't have Zaps that are created.
Oh, okay.
We use direct webhooks that go directly to our system, so we don't use Zapier for any of that.
I see. Okay, sorry, I read somewhere else. Okay,
that's a great question, actually.
See if this will. I'm just going to try. I'm trying to sign into my Zapier account.
The other thing while Jason's doing that I just wanted to quickly say too, though, is when you're working with a franchise specifically, different offers work better in different areas as well, right?
Yeah,
always keep that in mind.
For
so sure. Sometimes they'll want to test things out at one location, but things will do really well in one location, but then not great, different demographics, right? So just always keep that in mind as well.
Sure. And the other question I also had that was touched upon the previous person that was talking about Spanish English, and so that particular restaurant has a ton of local Spanish speaking clients, and mostly the construction workers, etc., the people that don't particularly speak English.
Yeah.
And so he did mention that it would be great to have, at least as an option, as a parallel, to wherever we'll be setting up for them, to keep it in mind that potentially some of the flow or message strings can be
I
sent out.
wonder how you would do that. So I wonder how you
Yeah.
would do it where you have English and Spanish messaging being sent out. Now, the only way that I could think of it right at this second is possibly making it so that when somebody signs up, they pick Spanish or English as their main language. And then what you would run into though is every time you're creating a promotion or you're creating you're gonna have to make it bilingual, right? You're gonna have to do an English and Spanish version of that message, of that SMS that goes out, of the all those kind of things. So
Right.
that would be, if you're managing it for them, that would be more difficult. And then also if they're doing it themselves, like they're going to send out weekly SMSs to those customers, then you're going to want to have like an English version and a Spanish version. I guess what you could also do is bypass and I've had a couple conversations with people lately about making just an automated flow that sends out, that just cycles once a month or once every 2 months. And you have messages that are in there that are just fairly generic. Like, so for example, check out our weekly, or check out our promotions this week, or hey, we just created we just launched a couple new great things, click here to see what those are, or click here for events. That gets sent out. I mean, you'd make it more you make it sound better anyways for the for the SMS, but then you could have that a Spanish version and a English version that could get sent out based on what they're tagged on as well. And then you wouldn't have to worry about sending messages weekly. And I know for a sticking point with customers is that's where occasionally they fall down to, is because they don't we have to. I found that for the first month of customers using this is we have to remind them to send out those messages, or else they just kind of slips their mind and they don't remember. So not with this system, but and it might be a good point to do it, but and I should just actually add it in with our previous systems that we built that aren't on high level, that are similar to this. We had automation that would send them out a weekly message, and it would say like, hey, today's a good day to go and send your text message, click here to log into your account to go and message out your customers, and do it that way. Because last time they just forget, they just get busy, and they get, especially with a new system that they haven't ingrained into, like, created a habit for yet, is to send them reminders. So I actually just might build that into the reminder system right now too, because it wouldn't take much. It's just a recurring weekly message that goes out reminding them to send out a message once you turn it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
In the past, we run some giveaways through ManyChat, and then for clients with large Spanish speaking population, we just did exactly that. We just 2 trees with quick replies that takes people different languages that they see, actually quick replies in Spanish or in English.
Yeah, I'm excited to see since high levels running out, or like rolling out a few ManyChat style flows. Now we can do the comment growth tool, and then we can also reply back to DMs, and we can do a couple of different things through. You can send out buttons for quick replies too. So like, you can send out a message. So somebody messages you through Facebook now or Instagram, you can ask them English or Spanish, and then they can click, and then it will tag them in the system right in like right through Facebook. They just have to click. They don't even have to type anything in, and then you can ask them for their email address and stuff like that. I haven't played around with it too much, but it's really exciting because we're going to start being able to build out more stuff that competes with what you can do through ManyChat. The only thing I think you can do through ManyChat now that you can't do within high level, which would make it awesome, is just in ManyChat they have it so that and I think this is a thing through Facebook, is just it asks, will you allow us to send you like weekly messages or like monthly messages kind of thing? And then you get past you can send one message, once a week to those customers who say yes, send me a message, rather than having to wait, do the 24-hour approval thing where they have to message you and then you can message them back within 24 hours of that message.
Yep. Yeah. The get updates.
Yeah.
So you can see us for sure. Yeah, we've used that. It does create a little bit of a tension point sometimes for people, but mostly people do opting for that.
Yeah, it's a good way to get started anyways. And I mean, and the whole goal with high level is we kind of want to get people off of Facebook anyways and into our system so that when Facebook does their funky things, we still have our list of customers.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys. Sorry, I gotta jump.
That's cool. That's cool. Thanks for jumping on today.
Yeah.
I know Brian has his hand raised.
What's going on?
Hey,
Yeah, so I
good.
have a question about let me tell you what I'm doing. When a customer comes into the shop for service, I'm going to have them scan a QR code and create their appointment, right then. So they're going to collect their name, email address, and phone number along with their information about their vehicle. Is there a way for me to create a check mark on that form that says I'd like to sign up for the VIP program, and when they click that check mark, it automatically sets them up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All you have to do is create a checkbox, create a custom field that's a checkbox. Here, I'll share my screen and we can just do it like something similar, like just a really quick example.
Yeah.
Go to live testing account here. Here, all you do is when you want to do that, okay, so you would just go into your form, whichever form it is. Sure, I got something in here. Contact info test. So I don't have anything in here, so that's fine. Let's just put like full name, whatever you have, full name, phone number. Go to custom fields. Go to add. We're going to create a custom field. So we would do. You could do a checkbox, or you could do radio select. Checkbox will work. Join VIP, promote VIP program, whatever you can call it. And then we'll put it into like say here. And the answer is just yes, I would like to join VIP. And then hit save. So then that's going to show up in here somewhere. VIP, join VIP program. There you go. I'd like to join the VIP program. So now when they click on this, probably still need to have that there. We save that. And then go back. And then under automations, let's just go create a workflow, continue. Okay, so our trigger is going to be that form is submitted. And I don't remember the name of the form, but we're going to go select form is contact info test. And there. And then all we have to do is go, I would do an if. And then we would check to see if contact details, it's going to show us the custom fields down here too. So we could probably do a search. Join VIP program. Includes yes, I would like to join VIP, and then save action. So now when that form is submitted, you could do all of your things, whatever here. Do they want to join VIP? And then you can say yes here. So if they do yes, then you can add them to another workflow. Like let's say you have an in-house promotion.
Well, I'm talking about the rewards and the loyalty. I want to move it into your system.
Yeah, so then you could go add add to workflow, and then just select whatever workflow you want to add them to as well. So we already have the oh, I don't know if I have it in here, but you could just select the rewards workflow, like join
Okay.
rewards workflow. You could do that, and it'll send all their contact details over to that workflow, and then it'll add them that way. You could just you could tag them as joining rewards. I mean, you can send out whatever emails you want here. So as long as you just do this, you can send them over to like let's say for example, I don't think I have the reward system installed on this sub account, but like let's say they joined and then this is the referral system from our smart reviews.
Yeah.
So I could do this and then add them to this referral one here. And then what it's going to do is if they said yes to join VIP, then it's going to go and ask them to send a referral. Or
Gotcha.
hey, would
Yeah,
you give
redo.
would you
Yeah,
give
yeah.
us a referral kind of thing? So
Yeah.
it'll add them to that workflow. So you can add them to the I think it's the rewards workflow. Let's go restaurant rewards, for example. And then if I go to automations, it would be reward system. And then so you can do the initial rewards, initial registration email,
Right.
which will just say, I think this just says, thanks for joining our VIP program, rewards program. And then click here to log into your dashboard kind of thing. So there's that, sends them an SMS, it tags them as rewards, and then it adds them to the monthly points reminder there. So you can automatically add them there, or you could probably even add them to, I just saw it here as well. Add rewards, contact, and give points. This is just another example kind of thing. It'll tag them as rewards. It'll give them points to get started kind of thing. This one is 0 points. And then I'll send them an email, welcome to the rewards program.
Okay.
So those two are already in there. So you just add them to one of those things, and it will add them to the loyalty and rewards page. And they'll
So
send
add them
to
to the add
dashboard.
rewards. What was the second one? First one?
It's either in here under rewards, you'll see R001 or R001A.
Okay. Perfect.
Either one of those will work. This one you can set to give them points when they register. It's already set up for that. And this one will just let them they'll just register, but they won't have any points.
Okay. Perfect. And then my last question is, I think we talked about this last week. I did find a data solution for year, make, and model for all the UTVs.
Okay.
How do you think I can implement it? It either comes in an access or a couple of different versions. How can I build that into this where it would select year, make, and model?
Oh man. So it'd be like a drop down of
Yeah, just like if you're shopping for
you could probably do like inside of forms. I haven't played around with it, but they have conditional logic now. So you could potentially be like, I don't know if it I wonder if it worked, because that'd be cool if it does. Like let's say we're in restaurant right now, so I probably shouldn't do it in here. Or else I'll end up with I just created an extra form in here too, which will confuse everyone down the road.
Yeah, if you're in your master.
Yeah. So let's go to the live testing account again. So under forms, we can create a form. And I have no idea. Let's go custom fields. I don't think I have any drop downs. Let's just say we did a drop down single select, and then we just go like 1, 2, 3, save that. Oh, test drop down rewards, save. Okay, and then if we go back here, we go. Test drop down, put it here. Can we do conditional logic on this? I know they were working on it, right? Like to have it. If you pick this, then do that kind of thing.
Right. And I
In
really
the
don't want to
intent.
manually put those in. I'd like
Yeah,
to.
I don't know. I don't know how else you're going to do it, right? Like that's the other problem is how do you get all of those lists or you could I don't know. I'd have to look to see if there's a way of doing like importing. There's got to be a way to import a list like that using JavaScript like on the page. So based on
Could
that
could
drop
we
down.
drop JavaScript on this page? Is that
You
so
can,
that
yeah. You can drop it on you can either drop it in this page. I think you can drop it in this page. It's not under options. It's let's get off of this. Let's go back to the page.
and will it populate the custom fields?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it would have to be. It would definitely be custom. You'd have to build something custom in order to dynamically populate all those fields.
Right.
It wouldn't be something that just automatically gets. There's an additional contact. Okay, show high fields. If test dropdown is equal to whatever vehicle, then show then you could show a different field.
Or show multiple.
Yeah, show multiple
But
fields.
then you want those to drop down as well, right? So
Yeah, so
what
then
you would do is
then you
first
have
you
to
would
add
select the year.
another. Then you'd save that. Then you would go, okay, do another. Now if yeah, like so
Yeah.
if your other one is going to be this, then show that. So kind of a pain.
Yeah, because you're talking about from 2001 to
Oh yeah.
now.
And then
Every
there's no way to just like import a list of items. And then you would have, yeah, like whatever, a few hundred
yeah,
makes,
it would
few
be a
hundred
nightmare because
models,
you're going year,
different
make, and
years,
model. Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah,
So it could
that's
get
20 years worth of stuff,
it could get really, really tricky.
But you think JavaScript be better, or just pull the drop down?
Yeah, it would potentially be easier. Like, so what you would end up having to do is, almost create a database, take all
The
those
database is
details.
created. They give me the database.
Right. They give you an Excel sheet or something, right? Like
The access 2000 access, or they give me a VB if I want.
so it almost have to be like that page gets loaded and the fields get added to the or the fields get populated based on the details of that. It'd have to be something to play around with anyways to see how something like that would work. It'd be neat though, to be able to pre-populate fields based on that. And then I don't know how the conditional logic would work either. Like it'd be a bit of a job to make that work, I think.
I mean, there's every auto website in the world has this database, so
yeah,
it's just a matter of, yeah.
Normally it's like, yeah, you would drop that into your own database and then do you would just do you build out your own menus based on that and then add your JavaScript and everything like that to be like, okay, if you picked this make, this model, then we're going to show you these options.
Right.
And it would be very similar because it's not that complicated. It's like if I pick 2000, like I'm just gonna go with trucks, but if I pick a 2010 F-150, that's going to show me a list of options. And then if I go 2010 Dodge Durango, that's going to show me a different list of options, but it's going to be,
The only option it's going to show us is the CC. So it goes year, make, model, and then engine CC. That's it. That's all the data
and
that's
then
in there.
what are you adding in there on top of that because of it?
Nothing. I'm just having them check in, so we got a database of all of exactly vehicle they have. So in the future, we can segment them. So let's say Polaris comes out with a piece for a 2020 to 2024. We can literally text message the people that own that vehicle in the future. We're just segmenting them of
Well, then
year, make, and model.
you also want to like tag them as well, not just that, but then you'd probably want to tag them with
Correct.
or you could probably do a smart list based on custom field. No, you wouldn't want to do custom fields because custom fields will get overwritten. So you want to tag them every time they import.
That's correct.
So that's a whole other thing as well. I wonder if it'd be easier just to have them write it out, like, and then yeah, I don't know. But yes, obviously they're gonna put in different things that you're gonna get mistakes.
Yeah, if you have them typed it up, we're gonna have 5 different versions how to spell Polaris, and
Well, do the CCs all change? Like, so I mean, you could have
the CC is not even the big deal. I just wanted to be easy
you
for
could just
them to
have a
select
list
year,
of the
make, and
makes,
model
a list of the models,
in the year.
year, and it wouldn't even have to be conditional. You could just be like, what do you have? I have a Polaris, I have a side by side, it's a 2010, and then you can just have lists and with dates. You just have those all pre-populated once, and then it doesn't even have to be conditional where it's like I have a Polaris side by side, or whatever year. They could just select from the giant list. It'd be
Yeah,
the
but how do
logic
you
would be
add the
nice, but it
list?
would narrow it down.
How do you add the list though?
Same way that I just showed you through fields, like through
Like
forms.
literally
You'd have
manually.
to manually do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could look at to see. I could post and ask, in a couple groups that I'm in to see if anybody has any idea on how to dynamically load a list.
It would have to be conditional because they can't select a 1999 Polaris X 1000. They never made them that year. So
yeah, but that would have to be up to the person who's entering their information.
Right.
If they don't know that they have their Polaris isn't to 1999, then I don't know. But some people might not know that either. So
Right.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah, because there's also 20 different manufacturers, from Honda, Polaris, Can-Am, goes on.
Yeah.
And the list is not cheap. I think it's going to cost me like $4,000 a year.
Oh wow. I guess you'd have to weigh it out if that's even worth it right now.
Well, I think it would be if I had 20 to 50 UTV shops plus, I think it would pay for itself. Because that segmentation is going to be great for them for marketing in the future.
Dynamic cascading drop down forms, but that's not with high level. I just did a search.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the other option is to take that database, create a completely different form that's not on high level, and then just import that data into high level when somebody fills out the form.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like just using just using the API to import that data when somebody onboards, which is another option, or using something like Jot. I don't know if you can do it with Jot forms, or if there's another system out there that you can just use Zapier. They fill out that form, get onboarded. That's another option too.
Gotcha. So this
I'll
is
give it
going to
some
be
thought
kind of a task.
anyways.
It's going to be a task regardless, is what you're
Yeah,
telling me.
I think so. I think so. Just it'll be something to just because you can't dynamically populate that those form fields. Like, with so for example, with code, I could just be like, we have the database, so select all models, and then I just write a couple lines of code, and then it populates that entire field, right? If we're going to do
Right.
it like outside, right? And then you just do, okay, so if based on what they picked here, then show we have these different lists that are already built that get shown. So basically you just populate each drop down and then you're showing which drop down based on what they pick.
Right.
Kind
Is
of
this
thing.
a project you can work on, or do I need to find someone?
Yeah, it's probably something we could do. Let me do some research into what I think we can
And
add,
I'll
and then see if we can do
email
it right
you.
inside of high level. I'll ask a few people who are some developers inside of high level here too in some of my groups, and then see what they say about auto populating the fields in the drop down, because we're auto populating fields already, but I want to see I wonder what it looks like to do like a drop down list. Might not be too bad, but we'll have to look.
Okay. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll email you the company data so you can kind of see how it's set up.
Yeah, okay.
Because they have like 4 different versions of it that we can pull from. I figured the easiest one is the Access database we can pull from.
Yeah, it would be if they had like a MySQL database or something like that, that would be the best. Access
Okay.
database is going to be not on a system that we can access, because to use an Access database you need to have .NET, which is a whole
Yeah.
different server and
No,
everything.
you're right. You're right.
So
Yeah.
MySQL.
They have multiple versions. I mean,
Yeah.
that was just, but
Put it in
and I think it
Airtable.
would pan out.
Put it in Airtable.
Airtable,
Yeah.
which is Airtable.
Airtable's good. It's kind of like a overgrown Excel. I mean, you can do a lot with it.
It's just being able to
It's an online database, like
yeah,
MySQL.
that's not the problem. The problem is pre-pop or like populating the dynamically populating the fields on a high level form.
Right.
Well,
which
they're
would
going to
be-
have objects. They're releasing objects soon, custom objects. Well, I didn't hear the whole project, the whole
Oh
thing,
yeah, it's
but
just basically, when you go to like a auto dealership or something like that and they ask you your make, model, kind of thing like that, basically doing something similar to that inside of high level, with pre-populating, the hundreds and hundreds of options for make, model, year, engine size, that kind of thing.
yeah. So I'm doing that with my partners, but it's in their DMS.
Yeah, it's in their
It's
system.
not
It's easier to
in their
do in
system.
that. I'm
Right.
just saying, like, yeah, because then I know we've done that. Select this option that it shows you these things, and then based on that, it's going to show you something else, kind of thing. But how to make it work inside of a high level form, so you're not using a third party, like you're not using more third party stuff.
That's a tough call. I
Yeah.
put it in a database and just do a post and a get, pull it back.
Yeah, we have
from the
to
database.
try to load it into something. Like, you might be better off just, like I said, doing a separate form, and then every time they fill that out, we just use the API to add people.
Yeah. However I need to do it, I think
I'll
it'll be
take a look
important.
at it anyways, and
Yeah.
we'll chat about it.
Okay. Perfect. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Okay, we got Steve has his hand raised, and I know he had a quick question too. And then Michael, you're here. Let's answer your question here, because you were here a lot earlier from the start.
Okay, I'm there, perfect, thank you. Yeah, I guess I've got some just very general questions first, which was when loading up the snapshots, if you're using the rewards, do you need to upload both the rewards and the reviews and the referrals snapshots, or you just upload the rewards? Does rewards include the reviews?
What we'll do is just do the rewards one, and
Right.
then I would do there's a reviews standalone snapshot. So I wouldn't use them both.
Right.
In
Yeah.
there, I would do the rewards on its rewards because that has a referral system in there as well. And then I
Right.
would do the reviews standalone. The reviews has its own version of referral system in there, but the rewards one is much more dynamic, much more built
Right.
out.
And you can, and with the rewards referral one, you can use it without points at the moment if you
Yeah, you
want,
could, yeah.
right? You can get that going. Okay, all right.
Yeah, you can just ask people to give. I mean, we'd have to go in and probably remove some of the messaging that gets sent out, letting people know
Right.
about reward, like the points that they've earned and stuff like that. But
Right.
we can still do a referral campaign.
Yeah, so there's a bit of messaging there, I think, just from on the health side that I need to probably rewrite a fair bit is what I'm looking at.
Mhm.
Just language. So I'm just trying to think what's the quickest deploy one. So in that sense, it's just a few things you got to switch off. You're suggesting if I'm not using the points. So would it, because if you just uploaded the referral one and then you try to bring the rewards in afterward, that's a bit of a pain, isn't it? Because you've got people using different workflows and systems. Is
Yeah,
that
it
right?
would be. It's
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
you don't
good.
want to use both of them? I didn't know that either.
The rewards and the referral system.
Yeah.
So inside of rewards, there is a referral system. So, there's a whole referral system inside of rewards, but inside of reviews, there's a reviews and referral system. So, what I would suggest is the reviews and referrals one is kind of like referrals version 1, and then the rewards referral system is like rewards or referrals version 2 kind of thing, where it does a lot more with giving points. With the smart reviews one, it's set up to give you 1 point per per referral, whereas the rewards one is set up to give you multiple points for each one of your referrals. And then it has the whole loyalty dash. They have 2 different dashboards as well
Right.
and everything. So I would, if you're doing rewards, use that referral system and then use the smart reviews standalone thing to capture reviews.
Gotcha.
Do you have, is there a standalone smart rewards snapshot?
Yep, there's smart rewards on its own, but it has referrals in it. It's built around a referral. So we basically took the referral system and started rebuilding the whole system from the ground up using there's significant changes between the two as well. Whereas the original referral system, the way it was built, it tracks referrals based on their name, phone number, email. So that's populated in the links when they share that out. Whereas the rewards referral system, we completely rewrote it, and it uses the high level contact ID to track all the rewards and referrals. So,
Okay, so
it's more secure.
Right.
Like as far as privacy and everything goes, you're not sharing anybody's name, email, phone number, or anything like that out into the world. You are just using their contact ID that way.
So should we uninstall the reviews, smart reviews?
Smart reviews is fine.
Oh, it is fine. Okay.
Smart reviews
It's a
is fine.
separate referral. It's a
I'm just saying
separate referral
the referral system in, like, there's a couple different snapshots there. There's reviews and referrals. There's reviews standalone, and then I think there's referral standalone, and then there's that. But the review, I would use the review standalone with the reward system.
Okay.
I'll try to update some of the messaging and make that more clear in our back end there and in the training too.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. My second question comes with the webhook, and I see that you can do those custom webhooks even on that $97 plan.
Okay.
And looks like it's there's 3 premium features. You've got custom webhook, Google Sheets, and Slack. where I think they go high level just charges like a cent.
Yeah, something like that. It's like a penny
uh,
per call or something.
Yeah, so I have this new patient tracking system that I use on Excel, but I'm actually building everything into ClickUp, so this other database that's running a much deeper kind of business process and clinical process in the back end.
Yep.
So I'm using it as a customer relationship system, and but then all the data on these things also link to another spreadsheet that does all sorts of calculations for us, like drop off rates and conversion rates and all this kind of thing. So, but it's by date, right? So what I'm seeing, which is going to like save us all this duplication work of data entry at the moment, is that I could throw a custom webhook from the opportunity section, like when they reach a certain opportunity
Yeah.
step. Can I, when that custom webhook, would it just call all the data? Is it like it allows me to call anything? And
So there's inside of high level, there's webhooks and then there's custom webhooks. The
yeah,
custom webhook, you would use that one if to do a call to another system and get data back,
correct.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
And
if you did a call to another system, you could then if like let's say for example, ClickUp gives you a webhook link saying,
yeah,
hey, send data here, kind of thing.
yeah,
You can then take that link, put it into you wouldn't have to do a custom one. Only if you were like the custom one has your webhook, sends data off, and then gets data back, and then you can do things with that. You
okay.
could then parse that data inside of high level, inside of the automation, and then do things with that data that you get back. If you were just sending a webhook, like if you're just sending information off to ClickUp,
Yeah,
and you don't need data back, you could just use the regular webhook
okay,
action, and it'll send information off um to
okay.
ClickUp or wherever. No, and then hopefully they have a way of parsing the data on that end, because you might not have
Yeah, so I'm thinking of using make here as the
yeah.
intermediary.
So yeah,
That's
you can send it off to make. Make can collect that information, then you can parse all that information over there and then send that off to ClickUp if you want,
okay.
or something like
So
that.
okay. So it's I guess I don't know if I can share my screen.
Yeah, you can.
I gotta do that again. There's the share screen button right here. Screen share. So what my database, I put your name in here just for
Okay.
uh, so this, this is the Excel organic one. They'll go through these different steps of what might happen. It's basically the conversion. They'll come for a new patient, report of findings, and then they've either committed to care, one of these two steps, right? They paid a plan or they're paying as they go. And then these are all the reasons that they might drop off, right? So basically, these are your two yeses, and these are all your no's, and then these are just the steps to get there. But what happens is that these date fields here that are colored, they're the ones that have a very specific function that go into another sheet and create all our our calculations, right? So my question is in the go high level section here at these steps, if a lead comes in and how could I give like a date to it? If they move from each section and they have a date, and it could throw a webhook and then put that data into a specific field in here. Would it be,
You
I
could
guess,
create a date field as a custom field inside of high level, and then have an automation so that when you move them from one location to another, you could then populate the date of that custom field. So
right?
you inside your workflow, you would have a trigger of they switched to the R23 outstanding.
Yeah,
So when you do that, then you would do the trigger or the module or whatever you want to call it event is called
Yep.
update contact.
Yep, yep,
And then you'd update the contact, select the R23 outstanding date,
right,
whatever you want to put there, and then
Yep.
update that with the current date. So you can set it as there's the drop down that will allow you to pick the date, and then you can pick the current date and
Right.
put it in there. And then you could then potentially, and I don't have experience with using
Yeah.
the Excel trigger to update specific fields, or if you're
Yeah.
sending it off to make or something like that, you
Yeah.
could then send the date. You would have that
Yeah.
date field in there of when they went into that opportunity, the
Yeah.
stage, and
Yeah.
then you could send it and you could potentially update that field
Right.
because it would have the date in there.
So essentially, though, that needs to be attached to that specific custom field. So I need to almost make a date custom
You'd have to
field
create a date field for each one of
each
those.
one of those. Gotcha.
Yeah, which isn't that big a deal. You
No.
could create like 10
No,
custom
that,
fields and then just make,
Yeah.
then you'd have to have workflows. And you can have it all, you could probably have it all inside one workflow where
Right.
you're saying just based on the trigger,
Yeah.
which field gets updated.
Yep.
Um
Okay. Well, that's good to know that it can at least be done that way first, and then I can
You can
look
get
at
the
that.
date. Yeah, you'll be able to get the date. Just depends on what you do after. So if I go opportunity,
And would that still need to be a custom webhook or a regular webhook?
if you're sending to make,
Yeah,
then it's probably just a regular webhook and it won't cost you.
right. Okay.
In pipeline, let's go customer journey. Pipeline stage is service book. So I'm going to share my screen for a second.
Yep.
Okay, so inside of pipeline, we're on new trigger. Opportunity changed is the trigger workflow trigger we're going to do. The filters are in pipeline. We're selecting which pipeline. Then we're doing a pipeline stage, and then this one I just select service booked. So when they go there, then we can do a update contact field, and then select. I'm just going to select a random one here because I don't have. I don't have one for date in here, but then in here we can go, I think it's like right now, we
Right.
can do a date, month, day, year, or day, month, year, however you want to do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can select that. And then now, so when they change that field, it's going to update that contact field that you set for that date there. And then you could do a webhook. So custom webhook. Again, custom webhook is if we did a custom webhook, it's either post or get, which is whatever the other system wants, kind of thing. Like,
It's going to
and then what
make.
will happen is it will send data back. If you click save response from this webhook, then
Right.
it will allow you to do other things with that webhook afterwards. If
Right.
you're sending it into make, I think that you could probably just do the free webhook
Yep.
one here, which is to paste the URL for the webhook that make
Yep.
gives you.
Yep.
And then it'll send the information over, and then you can add more custom data if you want to do specific information
Yep.
to send over.
Yep.
You can do that. So you have a webhook.
Yep.
Either it'll send over all the data. It
Yep.
it will send over all the information for that contact. It'll like name, phone number, email, contact ID, all their attribution
fields.
stuff like that. It'll send over all their custom fields that have ever been filled out. It'll send all
Okay.
that stuff over with the webhook. And then
Right.
if you want to make it a little bit easier where you have custom data and just say, here's the, whichever date, whatever, you can fill out any custom fields or custom values in there that goes over with that
Right.
webhook.
Right.
And then you can capture that inside of Make, and then work your magic on it over there, and then update. And I don't have experience doing that, but you could then update your Excel sheets and stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. No, I know how to do that other part. It's getting it in here and having it timed to each thing. The date would just save me so much time.
Yeah.
Great.
Every time they enter that field, you can update that Excel sheet for sure.
Okay, cool.
And I don't know, yeah, I don't know. I know they have a Google Sheets one as well.
But again, I guess
update specific spreadsheet row, but that might not even be yeah.
I don't know.
It's something to try out anyways, because you might be able to do it.
Yeah, if it gives the right data.
If you had an identifier, like if you identified everybody in your Excel sheet by a like a contact ID from high level, then you could potentially, it might be easier to do
well, I have a patient ID that comes in automatically when they become a patient. They get that ID.
Yeah, so if you attach that in here as well, if it's inside of high level as
well. You could just use email as well, couldn't you?
You probably could, yeah. If you have, you could, as long as your email address inside a high level is going to be the same that you have listed in your Excel sheet.
Right.
And you could probably do, I'm just guessing based on what I briefed, like I don't have my Google Sheets linked up in here. Or I don't have Google linked up in this sub account. So it won't show my sheets, but I did see in the drop down that it said update row based on
the identifier.
Yeah, on lookup.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I believe they can do that in that. Yes.
Google Sheets.
Webhook or premium.
Here, I'll put this link in here. Just how do you Google Sheets premium webflow workflow action? And it's not short. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. Okay. I've got that.
Yeah, okay. We had like back before, way before high level did this, we had a whole before high level added that, we had a whole script coding, everything like that for updating Google Sheets. But the only thing we could do with it was basically it added a line the next row, right? It added it to a Google Sheet, not updating. I think we could do it a lot more.
I think I know that I've used Make to update row and data before in Google Sheets and in Excel, so I'm pretty sure that's possible. So, but it'd be great if I just need to know how to get the data by date function on there, so it just updates it and they just move the card across and it'll be so much quicker. And if I can get that into Make, you can pretty much put that into anything. So it's got integration with ClickUps and Google and Excel. So it'll just do everything I want. So awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, we'll switch over to Steve. Steve, how you doing?
Hey, good. Just sold another guy today. And he was looking at another piece of software actually for referrals that he didn't like it because customers had to download an app, but he liked about it is people could track their progress. So the question is, I know through Go High Level, there's that ability on your referral on the in the referral program. There's a way you get a link and people can track that stuff. Like, that basically what I need to do is create a link for all the customers. So if they want to go track their referrals, they can do that. And I think that's pretty much in Go High Level.
You actually have to have a third party solution for that, and I have it. I can give you. I build a referral system just like you're talking about. That way, when they fill it out, they can click on that link, and they don't have to have a high level account to see their progress. It literally does it outside on a third party.
It's
What
really
would the
neat
progress be? Like, what do you mean by progress?
if they
Basically-
close or not.
Yeah, basically, this company is giving out cash. What my whole concern before was, some people want to pay referrals on the lead. Other people want to
Yep.
pay referrals on the close of sale. In this case, this guy's going to pay them on the lead, so there's a much better chance of getting more payments and whatnot. So he wants to be able to, for the customers to see like what's going on, have visibility.
Okay. I mean, our reward system kind of does that. Our referral system in there too. I mean, you can give points just for the lead as well, not just for like the actual referral when the referral comes in. So if you can do points for you can do points. It doesn't translate directly into dollars, but then you'd have to figure out how he's giving his dollars out.
You can do whatever.
Yeah, so with
whatever.
our reward system, you can you can earn points for an invite. You can earn points for when that customer comes to the business and says, "Hey, I want to work with you," or fills out a form and becomes a lead. Then the referrer earns points based on that person filling out the form. Do you know what I mean? And then you could have pipeline stages as well. So if I invited somebody, they become a contact in our system, but they're not necessarily an actual lead. So that person could be moved over to like the lead stage. They could be invited. You could have a pipeline set up so they can go from invite to lead, and then assign points for that. And then, I mean, that can translate into dollars.
This is about as simple as you can get. Basically, this is on that little app. I'm doing not your system, your system, but the thing you created for me specifically.
Yeah.
Right. So they click on the referral link. They go to the landing page. They sign up. The person who posted that now gets 100 points.
They I just saw in high level, Sean posted today, you can give dollar commissions on people filling out a form and stuff like that as well.
That's it. That's all I need.
Now
I
just saw Sean talk about that today inside of high level.
Wow.
That does it. That's all I need. That's magic.
Yeah, that would probably work for you. I just saw a post. If you go into the high level group and look, it just popped up in my feed this morning. So, affiliate manager update, now give commission on form surveys and calendar bookings. You are no longer restricted to giving affiliate commissions on sales. You can now do so for form submissions, surveys, and calendar bookings.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, and especially if he's giving away, if he's doing money, if he's paying for those leads,
yes,
then that would probably be the way to go, because then it could be right in the affiliate manager, and then just pay out money just specifically for that.
And then there's a way that how would that person see, what's the visibility on that though? It's going to do it.
They can log into their you can set up a portal, the affiliate portal, and or the community portal, and inside there as an affiliate, you can then see what your commissions and stuff are.
Okay.
In there.
Okay.
So what you'll have to do is create affiliates for that person, and then everyone would get their affiliate link when they sign up to be an affiliate for that one person, and then every time they refer friends over there or whatever, then they can earn points and log in and see their progress.
Okay. Cool. I'll just figure it out. Okay. Hey, a side question. Just anyone hear you Stripe? I'm trying to figure out how to I create a one-time fee invoice as well as recurring simultaneously with on one page rather than send people two different links.
I think you can do that.
I can't figure it out. I've been looking at it, and
Are you doing it under payments then? So
I'm doing a pro. I went to products. I'm trying to create a product, and that's maybe that's my problem.
you go to products. Do, 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 do. I think you can create. I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head, but I've seen it where it might be under. You have to create an invoice.
Right?
Um,
Yeah, it's got to be able. It's got to be
there.
Google.
I know people have asked it in the group a bunch of times in the high level group.
Maybe I'll search it in the group then. Yeah.
All invoices, new invoice.
Trying to get something out today.
Yeah. I don't have any products in this one. I feel like I've seen it somewhere. You could do a subscription and then there's like the setup fee or something like that.
Right. Exactly what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Dude, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would be under. What are collections? Collections is new. Oh, products and different collections. Well, basically categories. So let's go include an online store. Pricing.
Payment.
Just looking at the thing here. Additional options, enterprise description. Add another price. Oh, there we go.
Where are you?
Oh no, that'd be a different.
Right, that's a different price. That's what I went down that rabbit hole. Right.
I don't think that's it.
It's not it.
Where did I see it? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to do a look for it and see what I can see where you can find it. Because I've seen it before. It's like basically you create a subscription with a setup fee on it.
You know what? I think I just found something
Well, if
here.
you go products and you go recurring.
Under create a subscription.
What will that be? If we go one time, we go recurring. Oh, there we go. So under here, under create a product, if you go prices, you go recurring, you can put in whatever you want. Say it's 1,500 a month recurring. You can do a compare at price. Billing period is monthly for this. Number of payments, you leave it blank. And then say if it was a $1,500 setup fee, you could do it that way too. So let's say this is $297 a month, and then you would have a $1,500 setup fee, and then save that as the product. So they're going to get billed $1,500 for the setup fee, and then $297 a month afterwards.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to screenshot this for you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, go bigger. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you click on recurring there, and then you can do the rest of these things.
Cool. All right.
All right. So many cool things. All right. Well, I feel like that kind of wraps up our day for today. I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday, good week so far, and go out there and get a bunch of stuff done.
Thanks, man.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Yep.